Welcome to Wrestling with Real Estate, where we look to chokeslam all your real estate problems. I'm your host, former WWE wrestler and now Cirque du Soleil performer, and of course, multifamily real estate investor, Barri Griffiths. Now today we're joined by Perry Zheng. Hey, Perry.
Hey, how's it going, Barry?
It's going fantastic, man. We just finished up wrapping up part one of this. So if you haven't listened to that, please go back. Perry's got a great story of how he started in single family, did some smaller multifamily himself, and now is doing some big syndications. So great story. There's some great nuggets and then great pieces of advice. So I advise anyone who hasn't listened, go back before you listen to this episode. But in there as well, Perry mentioned that he has what is called a Cashflow Portal. He saw a gap in the market where there was a need for a portal for people to interact with their investors. So we're going to do a deep dive into that. In this episode, it's going to be strictly talking about the portal. So set us off. Tell us again. You explained in the first one, but there might be people who didn't hear that one. Explain to us why the portal, why you came up with that, and sort of a high level overview of how it works.
Sure. So I came out with Cashflow Portal to solve my own pain. And real estate syndication involves a lot of paperwork. So Cashflow Portal is a real estate syndication software that helps you streamline equity raising, do document signing. It allows you to automate your back office, and it also makes you look professional to your investors, right? When I was raising my 172 unit equity for that, we had 70 investors who invested $4.5 million. So that means 70 investors that I need to send DocuSigns to. They will sign it. They will email me back. I open up the document, find the page where they have the investment amount, put that into my spreadsheet, countersign it, send the completed document back along with the wire instructions. They will send the wire. They'll send me an email saying I send the wire. I will check the bank, and then a few hours later, 24 hours later, I send an email indicating that their investment is successful. Right. All the while, we will send monthly updates through MailChimp, and every 3 months we will do a distribution, and that distribution is also through a spreadsheet, and we put it into say Chase or Wells Fargo, and throughout that whole process, investors always have to email us for answers to common questions, right? And then at the end of the year, there are K1s. And for us, managing 70 investors and know what's going on, know their K1s, their social security number, bank accounts, ACH, is a pretty daunting task, right? So the goal of the portal is to simplify and streamline all of that, so that there's more time for syndicators to go look for deals, as well as manage more investors more efficiently, right? In the future, we want to be a full stack, integrated very seamlessly with real estate syndication. So we will get into the underwriting business. We will help passive investors to manage the performance of different real estate deals across all the syndicators, not just one, right? And we also want to provide a very easy integration with attorneys, CPAs, as well as their lenders.
Well, that's the future. That sounds very exciting, because there is a need for it, right? Because obviously there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of that goes into syndication. And the more you can sort of put everything in one place and put everything together, it's going to help so many people, I think. But even just the portal, like you said, people maybe don't understand. If you have, like you said, 70 investors, that's so much correspondence, so much work. Whereas now, so maybe explain, before I get into it, explain how the actual portal works for a syndicator. What do they need to do? How does it work? How does it benefit them?
Yeah. So we are the only real estate syndication software company that allows you to sign up for free, absolutely no questions asked. It takes about 5 minutes to create a deal and to start raising equity. You don't pay until you close on the deal because we believe that you should get value out of it. You don't have to talk to a salesperson to be like, how does this work? Can you send me a demo? And they only send you a video demo. You just play with it because that's how softwares are supposed to work. you sign up with MailChimp or HubSpot on your own, you don't get a sales demo before you before you create an account. So that's one. Second, you can, create your deal, and anytime you need to drop off, you can just close it and then come back and you'll finish it off. You don't have to fill out the entire deal within the 2 hours, right? Like it takes about 10 minutes to do everything end to end. So it's very, very easy to use. We focus on ease of use. And so say I got a deal under contract, a LOI accepted, I'm like super excited, right? Like I need to get everything ready. And so I will create a deal, I create an offering, I will add images to that offering. I will say what classes, class A, class B, how much I'm raising, what's the asset address, and we will pre-populate all that for you. And you can send the URL to your investors. If you want to include it in your newsletter, that's fine. And they will just go on there. An investor, click to invest, and they will go through the investment funnel. Going through the entire investment funnel takes about 5-10 minutes because at the end, it's a legal document. So you do need to sign a bunch of stuff. But the end-to-end process is so seamless. It's incredible, especially if they have done this before. It takes like 5-10 minutes to invest in a deal, which is kind of crazy that it takes 5-10 minutes to instantly check out a 50,000, 75K investment. We want to make it like Amazon, where you can check out an investment, with a few clicks of buttons.
Very cool, very cool. Yeah. Let's backtrack a little bit. So you said you don't charge people until they have a deal. So what does the portal help people with? And for people who maybe don't understand fully what a portal is and how it exactly works, you don't have a deal yet. How would a syndicator use that portal? What benefits would that portal have to that syndicator? What do the investors get out of it? The passive investors that they're trying to use? How does all that work, and what does it look like?
Yeah, let's take a step back of a aspiring syndicator. I will strongly suggest a aspiring syndicator figure out what software they want to use, so they are sharpening the saw before the actual battle. Right? Having a portal makes you stand out in terms of professionalism, right? You can create a biography as well, almost like a LinkedIn biography with your background information, also on the portal. That's something that we usually don't talk about, but it's actually a really, really nice feature that people are using. When an investor wants to invest with you, they can be added to your database automatically. So it's a lead magnet, right? A lot of people have their own websites, and you should still have your own website. You just have a button that points back to the portal, right? So that's how you can attract investors. And when you have a deal, your investors will automatically be notified that you have a deal, right? And it builds that warm relationship with your investors. And so that's a value proposition for people who don't necessarily have a deal yet. Because for a lot of people, they have a chicken and egg problem. They don't know what deal they will get because they don't know how much money they will raise. But they don't know how much money they will raise until they have a deal. And the real value of a portal or just a presence on the web is to gauge how much money you can raise. Right. If you have a lot of investors in your database, because you have presence, you will talk to them and you ask get a feel of how much they can invest. You will stand a much higher chance of success in raising your equity.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, because obviously if you have one investor on there, well, you might not raise too much, but if you have 60 people on there and they're interacting and they're looking at the portal, there's a good chance you can raise more and you can be more aggressive in terms of the size of the property that you go after. And it's nurturing investors is so important, right? I'm sure you know this as much as anything. And having somewhere that's the ease of use is really easy and everything goes through the portal, the deals, possible deals, anything that is of interest, newsletter, all that stuff, points of interest, all that stuff can be in one place, like you said, a few clicks away, and they're able to just navigate it. And, passive investors are usually I don't want to say lazy, but they don't want to apply too much effort into this. There's a reason they're passive, right? Because they've got other things going on in their lives. You know, they're busy professionals and they're making money and have families and all that other stuff. So the last thing they want to be doing is clicking all these different things and taking time to investigate this and that. If you can find one spot, you know, where they can just go, find everything easy, work it easily, it makes those people much more likely to invest with you, I imagine. I don't know if it's something that you found.
Absolutely. Ease of use translates into trust. Least obstacles also translates into a sense of urgency. So, you know, every friction delays the timeline, and time is of essence when you have a deal. Yeah. To give you another example, with these large syndications, one of the primary complaints that syndicator have is the speed in which people wire their money, right? They sign the subscription document, but they don't wire the money until like a few days before closing. And you're just like twisting your thumbs as a syndicator. Am I going to close? Am I going to close? So a lot of people send out emails like, please wire your money. It's first come, first serve. Until your money is in the bank, you actually don't have the investment confirmed, right? We are rolling out a feature where you can just invest because we connect with the bank account. That is some other portals have never done and probably wouldn't do because it's a lot of engineering complexity. But we are not afraid of taking on these challenges because I do believe that this is a very green field and we are still in the first or second inning of this industry.
So how does that work? So essentially, they go to the portal, and there's a space where they can enter their bank information, their wiring instructions and whatnot. So once the time is right, they just click send or whatever on the money or invest, and that money gets sent pretty quickly from that point.
Yeah, that's a really good question. So there are many good technology companies that spring up that allow you for them to integrate with their bank account, right? Plaid will be one of such companies that, for example, with QuickBooks, you can see all your bank transactions, and through this kind of like intermediate company that allows you to connect with your bank. And you do it because they take care of all the security and the vulnerability, so that we are not in charge of the financial security part of it, right? So that you can like hook up with which bank you want, and you will send the money directly from that bank to your syndicator's bank. It doesn't go through Cashflow Portal because we don't want to be almost like a broker in the middle. It's directly transacting, but it is embedded into the portal. So you don't have to go to say Chase and make a separate wire. It's the same idea. It's just doing it inside the portal.
That's a very cool and unique thing. I'm sure I don't know of many portals that offer that option. And like you said, again, making ease of use and making it easy for everyone. The easier it is for everyone, the more success something is have, right? And you again, there's a gap in the market, and there was a need for this type of stuff. Out of interest, something that you haven't mentioned so far, what is one of your favorite features of the portal?
There are a lot of cool things there that the customers have enjoyed. So I'll take this moment and say we are growing really, really rapidly. We're growing like 80 to 100% week over week. It's a little bit overwhelming on how fast things are growing. That's a testament to the customers feeling the portal is really good and superior to competitors. And we are adding features every week. One of the features that we added recently that was really good is we have very good delineation of investment status. So what I mean by that is an investor will come in and start signing the documents. And then that's one investment status. The next investment status is document signed. The next one will be countersigned. The next one will be wire instructions sent. And the next one will be wire instructions received / complete investment. For whatever reason, the competitors are not doing it that way. So it's kind of hard for someone to know whether it's wire instruction sent, or have we sent the wire instruction, or have we not, has the money received. So so before, people were sending wire instructions manually, and now with a click of a button, the wire instructions got sent automatically. And so to send that wire instruction is like a 3-minute job. You open up the email, you find the email address, you find the document to attach to, and then you make sure that the investor is correct, and then you send, right? So there's that. Once the wire gets received, most of the time people are looking at their bank account, like syndicators is looking at the bank account and say, this is a $50K investment. Which investor does it correspond to? We have the same system that allows you to match that investment to the investor on the portal, and ask you to confirm if this is the investment received for this particular person. If yes, you click on yes, and then a email gets automatically sent out that the investment is confirmed. That's another 3 minutes safe, right? The other feature that is all within the equity raising, investors, when they send the money, it makes sense, but until you get through the whole process, you don't really realize it. The most tricky part about the investor is once they send the money, they want to know what's the status of that wire every few hours, right? I send the money. Can you please check like where this 50K go? Right now, they're doing it through an email. And in the portal, they're doing it with a click of a button. Say, I just wire my money. And we will acknowledge it, so they can always go to the portal to check, instead of a lot of this kind of back and forth conversation, right? So that's powerful as well. So yeah, we are like rethinking this whole end-to-end process from the ground up, and it's very, very exciting.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's automating a lot of the stuff that can be automated, right? Like you said about the wire, rightly so, investors are worried about their money, right? It's a scary thing to send 50, 100,000, whatever, 200,000. You're like, where did that money go? Did it just go into thin air, or did it go where it's supposed to, right? It's worrying. So if you have stuff that, hey, this has been sent, we acknowledge it's been sent, and as soon as it's been received, there's an acknowledgement that it's been received. And it's just making this easier, right? It's just that, it's been the main subject of this, I think, more than anything, is the ease of doing business is just so powerful. It's just so powerful. And as we get into an age where everything is a click, and everyone wants everything easier and easier and easier, and the easier you can make it for everyone, the better. And like you said as well, it's just for syndicators, so much time can be spent on, not nothing tasks, but tasks that just, if you can automate it, why wouldn't you? You know what I mean? And it's just better for everyone. So I think it's really, really cool. Before we wrap up, is there anything else that you want to mention about the portal that we may not have touched on?
I think one thing people often ask is, some syndicators already have their own portals, and what is the cost of switching? And my answer is, some people also say, I spent 70 hours on my previous, setting everything up on my previous portal, and I do not want to switch because I do not want to spend another 70 hours with another company and like setting up everything. And I think that 70 hours may be a reflection of the lack of streamlinedness of the company, not because that it takes a long time to set up. And if people want to switch over and they already have a portal, you can do one or two things. You can give the team your login for the other portal, and we will just take care of everything. There's nothing the syndicator really needs to do to like move everything over, right? We will just migrate all the data over. And so it's less than 1 hour of commitment. Or you can upload things on your own, but even that, because of the ease of the software, it's really easy to use. So I will say it doesn't take 70 hours. It takes like at most like 2 hours. And then there might be resistance that if someone has a portal, they don't want to switch. And my feedback to that is, if your property management company is not that good, how much are you willing to stake and change your property management company? And the answer is, if it affects your business, you probably should switch, right? So real estate and technology is in its infancy. There are many competitors, there are many players. We do not know who will settle down, who will end up being the final winners. And so I will really ask people to think about not going with someone that may have the best feature set, go with someone that have the best character and the highest velocity, because technology moves really fast. Whoever has the highest acceleration or velocity will win at the end, not at the current feature set, because things change very quickly. So, my advice is also to, because you don't know who will win, it's actually a good idea to use everyone. In B2B business, you just end up using one of each kind and then see, and make sure that like they compete with each other and give you the best offers as a consumer, right? I use Chase and American Express for my credit cards because I don't want to be locked into one system, right? I fly with multiple airlines just in case, right? And and with people use Microsoft and AWS for different things, just to make sure that they don't get screwed by anyone. So that will be my advice from putting my syndicator hat on. Don't get pigeonhole into and rabbit hole into one system.
Very cool, very cool. Well, man, thank you so much for taking the time to explain what a portal is, how it works, how yours is different to others, and some of the cool features that yours have. It's been really interesting, man. I love this stuff because it's the easier you can make it, the better it is, right? I like easy. Easy is good, right? The easier it is, the better. And I think there's no doubt that your portal provides a lot of value for a lot of people, and hence the growth, right? The growth is showing that you guys are onto something. So very cool, and it's going to grow and grow and grow, I'm sure. So thank you so much. Before we wrap up, if people want to know more about the portal, if people want to know more about what you've got going on, if they want to just get in touch, how can they do so?
Yeah, go to cashflowportal.com and just create an account. It takes about less than 30 seconds. You can create a deal. And you can also reach out to me at perry@cashflowportal.com. We're going to be on a tour with a lot of real estate conferences, and we'll be sponsoring a lot of these events. So feel free to say hi and just, email me. And if you have any suggestions and feedback, because I love to hear how we can improve the software for everyone.
Very cool, very cool. Well, thank you so much, man. Have a great rest of your day out there in Seattle.
Thank you, Barry. Appreciate it.